All right. We just welcome everybody, and we'll just kick it off by thanking our annual sponsors, Applied Entertainment and Sports, NFP, Sony, and Taylor and Taylor. And I have a few announcements to make before we get started. I'm going to put some links in the chat too. But if anyone here is going to be attending NAB, we have our membership meeting at NAB from 4 to 6 on Monday, and it's in the Sydney Central area. Everybody should have received an invitation for that, but I'll put the RSVP link in the chat. Um, we had a PERG EWI coffee break earlier. What was it, last week? On
Yeah.
inventory management. The PERG coffee breaks, the EWI coffee breaks are really aimed at people that are just entering the rental industry. And so this was we had three great panelists that were talking about from Keslow, from Erie, and from High Output, who were talking about their experiences with inventory management. And Melissa joined the conversation also to talk about some of it from the rental software perspective. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it to this group. If you've got people uh, at your rental company who might be interested in getting sort of the broader picture, this is definitely entry level discussion of it. It's not detailed like this is, but I'll put that link in the chat as well. And then I wanted to remind people that the week after NAB, uh, PERG is holding the spring mixer with the AICP, a co-hosted event with the AICP in Los Angeles. If you're in LA, I strongly encourage you to come. Um, you know, we hold this event so that PERG members and AICP members can meet each other in person and on a social basis. And it's a great event. It's a good time. We spend some resources on it, and we are sometimes wish that more people would come. So if you're in LA, please do. And then the last item I just wanted to highlight is that the AICP and PERG held. We PERG was a presenter at a AICP town hall a couple weeks ago, and I just wanted to highlight. We did a newsletter article about that. I think a lot of rental companies will be interested in that article. It really was about sort of the existential situation for rental companies right now, crew gear and all that. And so I will put the link to that article in the chat as well, and I encourage everybody to check it out.
Good morning, Melissa.
How are
You are not alone.
you?
Morning.
Morning. There we go. I only saw one thing in the Slack channel from Liz actually about the um, staging to specific completes. So I will go over that just so that we have it. I don't know if you guys have done it. Dynamic, you're on, right? Like, I think that that was a big thing for you guys. I can't think that's right there. Um, the other thing I know, like you guys are, I wanted to talk about some of the newer things that we did, or we have done, or that are coming. Anyone who is updating regularly will notice that build 7, so build 6 is going to production today or tomorrow. It's maybe Friday, but I asked for it to come out a little early. But build 7 is not going to beta on its normal 3-week cycle. We're holding it so that we can put some bigger new features in. So it'll be out at the end of the month into beta and production mid next month. But one of the things that we dropped in '06, which we worked on a lot, was hourly availability for storefront. I don't know how many people are using storefront or what capabilities are needed, but we did a lot to work out so that the storefront quote when it or order when it's coming in has the time period, and if your items are set to hourly availability, it uses that in storefront so that your customers are seeing like hour by hour availability. Whether or not they can actually get into the availability is its own setting, but that way, for items that are tracked or are being narrowed down to this specific hour, your availability is correct in storefront. The other thing that we did a couple builds, I guess in '01, because it was a much asked for setting, the journal entries for QuickBooks Online. It had been asked for so much, and we finally did it, and it's great. And so, for anyone not familiar, what happens when you sell? I'm try to guess one. When you sell something, either because of an L&D or because of sales year, you have an offset from the asset account, right? So not only are you doing like, I made income off of this, but your asset account is going to alter. And normally that never went to QuickBooks. Well, we built this setting so that it finally did go to QuickBooks. The only way we can do it is with a journal entry, which everyone has been doing manually in QuickBooks up until this point. So that you have to now, once this invoice went to QuickBooks, you'd have to go in and manually make a journal entry to offset your expense account. So we built it so that now it automatically does it. And then we found out that, as it turns out, not everyone wants that to happen in QuickBooks. So in build 7, we have built a toggle, which will be in the plugin, so that it won't do that if you don't want to be offsetting or tracking your adjusting your asset account. The setting will be in the plugin. There will be a new setting that says, hey, I don't want to create journal entries. It will be set to not create journal entries by default. So if that is a setting that you liked, I tried to reach out to everyone I knew that was like using that feature. If it's a setting that you like and you want it to continue doing it, once build 7 comes out, you'll just turn on the plugin. Turn on that setting within the plugin. We added tag searching. Let me get to rental inventory. So for years and years, we've had AKAs, right? But as technology has evolved and the program has evolved, we created these things called tags, which are just keywords. They're not validated. You can have as many as you want. There's no reporting on them. It's just a keyword for an item. Now we built it for storefront so that your clients could search by keyword on something, but now we've added the ability, what's a cool word I can put here? I've never put, I don't know why the word Florida just came to me. So that you can tag it with whatever you want. And currently, already the system was letting you use that tag to search for something in storefront. But as of build 6, that is available in quick search.
How do tags differ from AKAs?
So the easiest, they are similar in that they are the same process. It does the same thing, but newer tech, so that you're not validating it. You're not going to a separate tab and entering it in a grid, or having to enter it. Like, you can have the same tag on multiple items. It is a better tech than what we rolled out AKAs. I guess I was still at MGM then, so like 12 years ago. And this is just a one-off, not a full description, just a keywording thing. Easier to do.
Is there any advantage to using an AKA instead of a tag?
Not that I can think of. Or vice versa, everyone who's been using AKAs, I don't want it to, it's not like you have to convert them all to tags. AKAs are still there and supported. But I think that tags will get used most moving forward because they're the most UI friendly and updated use of it, rather than that grid, the AKA grid.
Do AKAs show up in storefront?
They are searchable in storefront, but they're not displayed.
Yeah.
Tags are displayed. I don't even know if this item is searchable here. It's not. And that's just because it's not on in my catalog. So the tags are displayed in storefronts. The AKAs are not, but the AKA is used in the storefront search. So in storefront, if someone was searching the AKA, actually, I think I had one. It will still display the search results, but without the, let's see, so like it came up here because it is an AKA in the package. I think that actually has my name and all of it. So let me look the Alexa camera body package. Oh, this is Melissa QA. Melissa QA is currently under construction, but I'll try and look. Camera body. Yeah. So that came up, like, so that is the AKA. So it came up in the search, but there's no like reference to it in storefront that's why that came up. Whereas with tags, it would, if you're displaying the tags. So here, we'll put a tag in here. Why am I on the state thing? Oops. Now, if you've got a tag that you've already used before, they'll show up. That one. That's the other demo. I can't think of another tag I've used already. Here. Actually, here, I'll just do a good at it. So if you're typing it in and you've already used it, it will, like, it's gonna predictive guess that that's what you mean, and then you can grab it, or obviously enter a new one. But in so down here, they are displaying the tags as opposed to, like, the AKA doesn't show why this came up when I searched Melissa because it was an AKA, but it is showing the tag of Nevada. We added field auditing. If you've upgraded recently and seen any of your audit tabs, you can now filter, like, because can be potentially a whole lot of stuff in the audit tab of an I code or an order or something. So you can now filter by the field looking for something specifically. We paginate by grouped orders. We'll paginate. There's now a setting when you are I think Roundworks has one. Ooh. So if you're printing the entire group, there is now a new setting to just automatically paginate by order. If you're using custom report layouts, we might have to get this code into it so that it recognizes the new checkbox, but this checkbox does now set so that the orders will just break at the order line. Obviously, if the first order itself or rolls into the second page, then it will break after that. Go ahead, boys. I don't know how many orders are in this group. That was a silly pick, Melissa. While this is loading, the two of the big things that are coming in build 7 or planned to come in build 7, which is why we are holding it, is oh, there we go. So it is now paginating by order instead of normally it would just start, the next order would start right after the end of the first one. Automated reporting. So and I will have an article for this. The bigger enhancements that come out, I'm trying to build an article before we release the build so that, like, tags, if you see it in the build doc, then there's an article for it. Report scheduling will give you an option in all of your reports to set up like your filters and say, hey, I want this to run every Monday at 8 or Friday at 5 or whatever, every day at 6, and email to this person. So that is a big thing that should be coming in Build 7. And the other thing is, which I don't know if it's 7 or right thereafter, is the client portal. I know we've been talking about it a while. I just took a screenshot of the last iteration. I can't get, I haven't got, I'm getting it for QA this week. And then I can start building the articles and stuff. But the idea is that your client can log into their portal and see their open invoices and pay them through here. That's obviously only if you're linked up to Card Connect so that we can process the credit card for them. But it is that way they can at least get in, see their bills, pay their bills, see what's going on with their quotes and their orders, all that jazz. I had mentioned something about AI, like I wanted to talk to you guys about AI because the two things that we've talked about internally, I mean, you'll notice, I don't know if some of you already have, but there already is a plugin for OpenAI. I'm going to, does not have an article yet. I am waiting on one more piece of information until I make that article. But all it's doing currently, like our first phase, was to allow it to help you support wise. So you say, hey, how do I change the customer on this deal? How do I change the credit on this, whatever? And it's going to go search the knowledge base, all of Zendesk, all of the various articles, and then come back with a response on how it can help. The second phase, like we're talking about, like for the AI integration, is a read-only data of your, like the raw data in there, so that obviously running reports is great, and we'll have the ability to do them regularly and or obviously ad hoc still, when you want to know a piece of information. But if you just say like, hey, how much did Disney bring in last year, or how much revenue did I get from Disney in 2025, that it would go and read that data and just come back with a number. So that are the two pieces of AI we have been talking about, and I didn't know if you guys had other ideas about it, how it could help you. I got a suggestion once about it, like building an order, and the more we talked about it internally, like just to say, hey, I got an order for Volt lights for Monday through Friday next week for 4 of these cameras. And then it would build the whole order and then add the items, but like how you'd have to sort of know if your I-codes were too similar, days per week. Like there's so much granularity to it. We sort of backburnered that and said, like, let's talk about the other two things and maybe any other ideas that you guys have about what it could help us or help you guys with. Or not. Or those two things.
Hey, Melissa, actually, I got something.
Hi, yes, please.
Hi, Danny from Dynamic Rentals.
Hi.
One thing that we kind of like do on the side, we have to like do the report, import it into Google Sheets so we can do like an inventory like balance. So we constantly like looking at what we have available versus the future quotes. So it'll be nice if OpenAI will be able to like, if we can just prompt like, hey, I have this order with this many cameras. Do I have enough media to cover this?
Okay, searching availability. Yeah,
Yes.
great suggestion.
Oh, thanks.
We would obviously, I mean, it would need to, either way, I guess it would come back and say, because like if you have like a complete and an item with the same thing, we need to make sure it was like looking for the package or rather the prompt, right? As I'm sure you all have worked with it, right? my chat GPT is only as good as the prompt that I give it.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So like if you have like more than one code of the same thing, then you would just have to specify on the prompt for it to give it to you. But it's a really good idea.
Thank you.
Cool. So Danny, actually, have you guys been using like going back to the first thing? The only thing I saw still on the Slack channel was the staging to specific completes and kits because I know that that was like causing headache for you for many a year before we did that. Like, okay, no, this clamp goes to this package instead, and so that if you have to unstage, it doesn't get all like messed up.
I believe that's all good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you give a demo of that?
Sure. Let me build. Let's see. Do I have one? Let's see if I still have one in here before. No. Okay. So, I don't want to say trick, but the key is that you have to stage the main item of the complete first so that you can stage within it. So I will put two completes on my order that both have the same or some of the same yeah, quantity items. Oh, that's fun. I don't want the item. It is 100. Oh, wow. I get to get mine. Let's see. Please be good. Melissa. Oh, let's see if it's gonna work. No idea. Okay, hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And great. Okay, so the idea is that I have two separate like lighting fixtures, but they're all gonna come with the same quantity items. Let me go grab an asset real quick. We're gonna take O2, O2, let me see. Okay. Check out. I go to assuming that setting the takes all quantities is not on. Stop. Not right. Hold on, that cool setting this is stage all quantities when oops. Hey, so from within here, stage items to selected complete, and that opens this little box to let you know that everything I scan or quantity from now on until I hit close is going into this VL spot thing. So if I'm going to go into quantities and pick the claw, the safety cable, the hanging bracket, let's say I want to put in, let me grab one of those L620 cables too. Mm, 505, 5.4. Really? I typed it. I'm trying to go to, what's that? 50545. Oh, absolutely. 454. So it's letting me know that that power cable is going to be in this one, not the other one. Once I hit close, then that I'm done like staging to that specific complete. And that's how you would get like a specific barcode. So I want this barcode associated to this, as opposed to, I think that the problem that was happening is when you were scanning a barcode, any barcode, it was just deciding which of the packages, like which of the completes or kits it was going to, as opposed to you specifying, I want this cable with this set, so that if this set cancels, but this barcode was stuck in the other one, then this one, it wouldn't let you take the package off the order because this item was actually stuck in the other package.
Oh, that's really useful, actually.
Mm-hmm. Cool. As we mentioned in Slack, right, it's not in QuickScan, but it is in Web.
Yeah, that's sort of the main limitation we have because quick scan I mean this is sort of where our Liz or no, they're none of the CSLA or Camtech folks I think are here. Um, but yeah, quick scan really is like our the only way we interface with RentalWorks 80-90% of the time. And so really not having any of this functionality in quick scan is a bit of a major drawback.
Do not disagree. We have a whole queue of tickets that were like for QuickScan that we can we're compiling into a like a revamp of QuickScan. Because other than supporting RFID when we launched RFID or supporting like a little thing here or there, it's like it's definitely obviously in need of a good old upgrade.
Yeah, no, a lot of things haven't been. I know there's been a long overdue refactor and like server side rebuild that's been on the to-do list for a while. Because I know like we have like a giant list of like I think 40 different requests that we've gotten internally for quick scan changes that I haven't even sent tickets in about. And I'm sure other companies also have like, a laundry list of quick scan wish list items as well.
Sure. I mean, I tend to think at the very least it should have the same functionality as web.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we talk enhancements, right, which of there should be some, it should be doing the same thing so that we can because the mobile is, I mean, it's obviously widely used, right? That's
Yeah.
out in the warehouse and it's, I mean, some people are still choosing like laptops on carts
Yep.
and portable scanner, which is great. Like I also support that. Um,
Yeah,
I
we've
mean,
got a couple of those.
literally and metaphorically. Um, but yeah, quick scan. Um, yeah, the
Yeah.
ability to do that should be great in quick scan as well.
And I know I've been working with Mike here and there on getting support added for newer scanners and stuff. But like, yeah, having the ability to, I know it's like a major dev lift, it's like, a full person and like, a year of development, but just getting that process going, like as quickly as possible, would be amazing if there's any way to sort of try and get that onto a roadmap of some sort.
Heard. That's all I had on my list. What do you guys have?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
It's Colin here. Hey, so back to the customer payment interface that you're working on.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that a customer would be able to look like at their whole account. Um, will there be like a guest, like if it's a one-off where you don't think you'll see that customer again, where they can just you send them a link and they'll pay? Will it be like that as well?
Um, Brock, I know you're on. You can comment on it. I think it's still a link to the portal that they pay from, as opposed to, because the thing is, you'd have to take in their credit card off, like, or the terms and conditions would have to be there. Like, it couldn't just be a link like QuickBooks does, I think. I think they still have to, it would still just be a one-off, right? They'd log in, they'd see one invoice, they'd click pay, they'd enter their stuff and be done with it. So that would be the link. And then they'd already be in your system. As your contact.
Right. But will they need like they'll have to set up their own password to go back to see what they've paid and so forth?
I believe so. I will find out. Like I said, I'm supposed to get the QA builds this week. Because you're looking for like not a login to see. I mean, even when I like pay my dentist bill, right? I log in and it's just like this is your invoice, and then I still have to set up a password though.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, yeah, I know in some situations, like let's just say I forgot my password or whatever, it'll have an optional pay as guest. It's still that invoice, but you don't see any other details. It just
Right. And you would just enter the invoice number, and what if they fat finger it and pay my invoice instead? That'd be cool.
right.
I mean, you could
Um,
have like the URL include, question mark, invoice ID equals whatever, and then that's just a unique URL that only will pay that one invoice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I put a note for myself to check when I get the QA build and to let you know. But I do not think that there is a guest
Okay.
option.
And then how far out do you guys think you are on this being available for everybody?
So we're close. Like we've got all the developers. Like once the hourly availability storefront went off, three of the developers are working on it regularly all week. So like I said, I'm supposed to get a QA build this week, as is Brock and Tyler, our lead analyst. So it'll go through the first round of it. So it depends on how close they are when we get it to whether or not it can then start going through regression tests and actually be in the next build, or if we're more than one build away. So I would like to say later, like next month. But it might be, what's next month? May. Might be end of May, early June.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
I have a very rudimentary question that we've gone over, but I haven't figured it out yet. In creating an order, or let's say, sure, let's say creating an order, and can you go through the best way of, like, a producer wants to see, I send them a quote, then the next day I send them another quote and it's way more, and they're like, why is this so much more? I want to be able to show them what changes were made. And I know we have like snapshot or whatever it's called, and then also order history. Can you kind of go over those two things? And then also show me how to turn on history, because I, for some reason, wasn't able to get that turned on.
What do you mean by turned on? There shouldn't be like any.
We don't have that.
Are you using? Go ahead.
Oh, it's probably a custom form issue. We've run into weird situations where if custom forms are on and then there's some backend change, then it like will hide a tab, and then I'll have to go into the default form and then figure out what changed between versions and then copy that HTML into the custom form.
Okay, yeah, basically changes is not in our history tab.
So yeah, that's actually a fair point for all, like, so custom report layouts and custom forms. So when you make a custom form, you're saying, okay, take the order form. Let's take something easier. You're taking the order browse and you say, I want to adjust it from here, right? You make a custom whatever. You're using that. Well, if we add something to the default form, it's not going to add to yours because you're already overriding the default form. So, to what Autumn was saying is that when that got added, you were probably using a custom form that, like, maybe on the history tab or not. Like, what I would do is turn off your custom form, load the default. Like, I'm not really sure because it's custom. That, like, I'm not sure what you're using your custom form for, but turn off the custom form and then it should be there. And then depending on what you're using the custom form for, either rebuild using the new defaults, or if you're feeling fancy, yeah, get into the HTML and figure out like what is like the chunk that needs to get added to your custom order forms.
Yeah, we're definitely using a custom form, so I'll have to look at that.
Okay. With quotes, if it's still a quote, right, I use the versions thing, right? Version 1, version 2, then they don't like 2, I go back to 1. To show, like, for differing of changes. And then and then the history tab for like what was added or changed in prices. Do other people on the call have like experiences like explaining the difference between price 1 and price 2?
I mean, we use versions a lot. We usually, for like any given job, will go through between 3 to 4 versions. And that's been like a huge helpful tool to be able to say, okay, this is version 3. Okay, you want to add, another camera body, light, whatever. Okay, this is version 4. Okay, you set the price tag. Never mind on that. Let's go back to 3. That's been a huge benefit there.
Yeah, and then you just convert the one they like. That's what I did too.
Yeah, for us, it's more like they've already agreed. They're like, yes, we need this. And then they've like called that, like, add some items. And the producer at the last minute, they add stuff. And then the producer's like, whoa, what happened? Why'd this go up? So the changes would be really helpful. So we'll figure that out. Can you also just go through snapshot?
So we also, or did we just add it? Or no, I guess it's on the list to get added so that the order change report for this order could be called from here. Because you know that report, which lists all of the changes from this date to this date for a specific order. I have a ticket in like as an enhancement so that you can pull up this report for the order you're working on from within the order. You said snapshots. I haven't used snapshots. Let's see. What I don't actually know after the EXC because we had the audit, the snapshot made sense before we had the audit trail. So I haven't done this before, so I don't actually know, if I'm being honest, how to take a snapshot. Is it in here? Create snapshot. There it is. Okay, we can us something together. And then change some stuff. We're gonna do 55 of these. And then nope, status is the wrong button. Sorry. So it's just like I guess like a screenshot of everything that it was when I took that screenshot, snapshot. Net availability is oh, it's obviously negative 56 now because I just put more on the other order. But yeah, so it's just like a bunch of a series of screenshots, a moment frozen in time.
But then can you go back to a specific screenshot? Like, can you revert the order back to that previous screen snapshot?
Nope. It is just a screenshot of the order.
Was there some system? I thought that was a thing in some system that you could revert to a previous version, or not, I don't want to use the word version because that's a thing, but
Yeah.
like an order that you could revert to a previous
Not that
thesaurus
I
version.
like a bunch of undos. Not that I know of. Like versions being the only way that like you can revert
Yeah.
back to before I made changes. I don't even like even in the EXE, I don't remember being able to do that. Like the snapshot was just that was just a bunch of screenshots of what the order was when I took the snapshot.
Okay.
And for my practice when I was like then if people were adding to an order and it was a person I was worried were going to be like, just kidding, I would always make a second, like an add-on order, just to keep the first one clear. And the second one, oh, it turns out you're doing a whole other room. Great. Here's a bunch of other stuff. And then we can negotiate that separately without mucking up the first order. But that was just my workflow process that made sense for us. And then obviously you can still group them together and build them as one, but what else we got?
I guess another thing, alerts. Is there any plan to add additional logic so that we can say when, if the if this order has this or that, then send this alert, or if both of these conditions are true, then send the alert. Because that's really the main thing that, having useful alerting would be like really great, but to really have that sort of versatility in terms of what we can alert on, having the ability to combine different logic conditions would be sort of paramount to that.
Got it. I didn't see that and I wanted to go through, like I saw it in Slack, and I wanted to go through and sort of compile, like it sounds like everyone's a little frustrated with alerts and sort of compile. It looks like there's the either or both, like additional, rules, but also something on a specific item or an
Yep.
order total. Like obviously, POs have it as their own workflow though for like approvals, but not for alerts. And sort of, is there, so in a broad stroke sense, adding like additional rules, and then we're talking about alerts on specific items and on totals. Is there another like broad stroke alert I can like dive into? Make, because my idea is I'm just going to get them all together and sort of boil them down and send off one ticket up to dev, talking about like the different kinds of alerts.
I mean, we have admittedly a very niche use case. So niche that we've built out our own in-house custom internal software development stack around this. But I'm sure it would be awesome for other people of when a quote is flipped to an order, when any date changes, when a like L&D order is created to then send an alert to the sales agent for the original order. When we get let's see, if a specific item or group of items goes into repair, basically being able to there's infinite numbers of things that we need alerting for that right now stock rental works alerts don't really work for.
And is it because of the like ability to do more than one?
Yeah.
Got it.
That, and as well, there's also a number of things that seem to still be broken. I've got tickets in, I think, about most of them, but there's also a few that like are still just completely broken that I haven't had a chance to write tickets up about, of like certain module and field combinations.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I just wrote all those down.
Awesome.
Anybody else? Don't all talk at once.
This might be a question for everyone else because I'm trying not to talk to you about QuickScan, but I'm just curious what the purpose of on QuickScan when you stage and check everything out on an order, why does it still show up on the staging screen? Is there some function anyone has come across that's not just making it hard to find things that are making it harder to find orders that aren't checked out?
No, that's an issue we've run into as well, and is also a major frustration over here.
You mean that it's still showing in the like because it's active? Like this is only showing active and confirmed.
Why is it like if everything's checked out on the order, why is it still showing on the staging screen?
So I'll give you the answer. I know what the solution is, but I'll explain it to you. So the truth is also inside. If you go to checkout here, it's the same exact filter, right? I'm showing orders that are active or confirmed because even though everything went out, they could you created the contract and then they come to pick it up and they want to add something, right? Like, so active and confirmed is the filter for checkout, which is the same one in QuickScan. Confirmed orders and active orders. Or if you're making multi contracts, you're doing a first contract and then they're coming back with their car for the rest of it or whatever. So it's here because it is active and confirmed. The filter, like obviously an answer would be to filter out active, but we don't do that in web either.
Oh, I think,
Go ahead.
no, sorry.
Oh, no worries. It would be to filter out active orders, but the challenge with that is if So that the order is, so if there are 10 items on the order and one gets checked out, the order is active,
Mhm.
even though it's looking for 9 more items. So if I was filtering out active orders, I wouldn't be able to see that, right? You'd have to toggle between active orders and confirmed orders. Like the idea on quick scan is that you would either just scan the pick list again or enter the order number again to find the order, or scroll and click.
Yeah, in a world where we're trying to eliminate paper, someone comes in to return something or comes in to pick something up, and I'm like looking for their order, and I'm just like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, trying to find their order to check out, and there's all these active orders that are just
So
mucking up.
there, you
That makes
can
sense,
do it
though.
by you can do it by description though, right? If you toggle over to description, and then I want the coyote one, as opposed to like scrolling, because in order number, it's obviously just it's just organizing it by order number. But you can toggle over to deal and look up the deal, so it'll show me everything for the Rentalworks training deal or the description of the order.
Yeah, I think it's just on the tiny little keypad for the scanners, trying to type in like a really long order name or number can get a little tedious. It's more of a
Sure.
nice to have.
Yeah.
Would it ever be possible to have the deal like a slightly bigger font? Because a lot of times people here are looking for that name that's on the deal because they have no idea what order number maybe, especially if it's like
Sure.
we're just checking one thing in. I mean, of course you can scan something in and it'll show that it's scanned in, but we do find some.
Sure. Find it out. Yeah, I'm
Or
actually trying to.
also, there's like no customer name displayed. So if someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, we're picking up for this customer," it's like it's just not
Yep.
on there at all.
Yep. Just quick scan. Bond. Bigger. Add customer. I will throw it on the list.
I mean, before you guys get into finally doing quick scan updates, we should probably just have a big, just quick scan devoted
Yay.
thing about all of our hopes and dreams and things.
Mhm.
Because, like someone said, they've got a list of 40 things. We've all got a list of 40 things. So if there was like, if you guys worked really hard to put out a big release and then like 35 of those things weren't on there, we'd all be pretty bummed.
Right. No, so what I would do is we'd get together, we'd get all of the tickets that are currently in for it and all of the things that we have come up with and we have gotten over the years and put together a build document and present that to you guys to be like, does this address most of your things? And of the things that maybe you wanted that we couldn't, maybe this is the reason why we can't. And before we like start programming it.
Yeah, that would be awesome because I know a ton of different people all like quicksand's pretty mission critical to. And if we can get everyone together and pool our resources and our, collective knowledge of, rental side of things, to make QuickScan like a really like industry leading, really cool app would be awesome.
Agreed. Because there's so many tickets in already and that like I have like we want, I would prefer that we start with like let's get a design of all the things we're doing and see how many of that addresses what you guys have got going on and then we can start talking like and obviously what works for the masses as opposed to
Yep.
yeah. Cool. Great idea. We shall do that.
Something else on web that I came across the other day. So I was trying to check in an order on web. Is there a reason that I can't just type in the order number when I'm checking in?
I mean, you have to select the order number.
yeah, I'm just was like, it's like you can just type in a deal, you can just type in this. Why is it set up that way to like have to open it and select the order?
Because you can do multi-orders.
Oh,
Yeah. It's not a single filter. It's a
got it.
multi-select. But then obviously like yeah, scanning in any barcode will bring up that one order. But yeah, for selecting the order first, either from the order screen, we'll pull it up, just that order, or here, yeah, because you can multi-select.
Another random question on purchase orders, um, for miscellaneous items. There's the checkbox for all miscellaneous items have been received or whatever.
Mhm.
What's the purpose behind doing it as a all or nothing versus being able to do partial receives of miscellaneous items?
It's funny you ask because more people hate that that button exists at all,
Yeah.
rather than not like being granular.
Yeah, that's one
Um,
of our like the things, and I was wondering if there what their logic behind that was.
um, I think that it was a way so that when PO items are received, like sub rentals received and returned or whatever, just someone acknowledging that something on the miscellaneous tab happened. Obviously, when you're
Mm,
on an order, everything on the miscellaneous gets carried to the invoice. But the miscellaneous tab ends up being like the forgotten tab. So you're like, why is this order? Oh my gosh, I don't charge them or
mm.
got the whatever it is, right? Is some sort of indication to make them go to the tab and be like, oh wait, we are charging. I don't know. This item is coming in from repair or this whatever it is. So it is just like an acknowledgement of the tab having been like addressed. And I imagine that doing it per row would be because it doesn't need to be received because there's nothing to receive. It's just a fee. But doing it grant like per row would hurt my brain.
Well,
I don't know about other people's brains.
we do receive miscellaneous because we use miscellaneous for like if we're buying something into, shop stock, shop inventory rather than rental inventory, sales or parts. We still want to keep a record on the accounting side that we spent this money and this is what it's for. But we're also keeping track of the like receiving documents and like packing slips and everything. And so if we have, if we're buying, five computers for the shop and there's five miscellaneous computer iCodes and
Mhm.
only two of them show up, it would be nice to be able to have that granular control.
Got it. Yeah, I've never heard of receiving something on the miscellaneous. Good use case. How do you track whether two have come in or five have come in though? Because you can't receive them.
Right now, we don't. We just have someone dedicated who's keeping track of that in their head. And then once everything's received, they check the box.
Got it. Yeah,
Um,
I think that it was never considered to be like a thing that could be received.
oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, one niche thing we added a couple builds ago. Is this on? No. Is and it's not exposed by default, but the miscellaneous tab now has oh, days per week for recurring miscellaneous charges. Um, like I said, it's not on by default because most, again, miscellaneous is typically just a shop opening fee, credit card fee, things of that nature. But because some of the items can be reoccurring, we did add the days per week Oh, that's not a reoccurring charge. If it's a non-reoccurring charge, it's a 1 day week. If it is a reoccurring charge, it starts as a one. Let's see if this is, and then can be changed. Come on, Melissa. Find miscellaneous. So that you can adjust the days per week that the miscellaneous fee is reoccurring. Pretty niche, but it made sense. Um,
Um, I was just noticing the other day that like when we use miscellaneous for deliveries, and we'll have like, quantity 2 because we're delivering and picking up or whatever, but then it'll be like days 1 and the client's like, why does it say 1 day? I'm like, that's a great question. There's no, why are miscellaneous? Yep, that was the end of that conversation. I was like,
Yep.
that doesn't mean anything to you. I don't know why that's on there.
Right. I mean, hide it from on your layout. But the reason it's there is for these reoccurring ones, and there's a bunch of use cases for. I mean, obviously, some people are putting like, okay, I don't want to say like labor, like not sending out crew, but like shop fee or something, or this is a golf cart charge, but so it's going to be once a day for the entire order, or once a week for the entire order, or whatever. So, and I know Camtech uses this a lot. Not to call them out specifically because lots of people use it. But there's also a lot of labor in general, like charges that'll go into the miscellaneous tab. And that is why.
Can you just display the unit? I mean, if the unit is daily, then
right. So I was like, can you just hide that on your report layout?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So miscellaneous. Oh, this one didn't even have it on there. Quantity available periods. Yeah, billable periods. If I take this one off.
And then I didn't see, I assume you can add in units on there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Unit. Yeah. So I took away the billable period. So it didn't say like days 1. I could put back in billable periods, but yeah, unit can be added or billable periods taken away. Anything else? Okay
Just
then.
gonna second Will's question in the chat is there a way in checkout to have it so it shows the same sort as what the agents put on the order? Because a lot of the times agents will put like, everything in a very specific order for, this should go on this truck, this should go for, main stage, this should go for B stage.
Agreed. And so one of the things I have asked for, which would be part of it, is that the headers from the order be like checkout also need, like we redid check-in, right? Checkout needs some love so that the headers from, so yes, stage A, stage B, whatever, and the manual sort be part of this. So it is a ticket that is in, but there's a design or like it's not. Yes, it is a thing that we want as well. Cool. Cool. Okay. If nobody has anything else, I'll give it to 11:10. Otherwise, oh, it's just turned 11:10. I'll give it to 11:11. Because it's a good number. I'll hang out here, but thank you guys so much for all coming.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks,
No problem.
Melissa.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Maria.